2 days ago, something happened that I honestly thought I'd never see in my lifetime. SpaceX, Elon Musk's rocket company, went public. It listed on the Nasdaq under the ticker SPCX, raised $75 billion in a single day, and on its first day of trading, the stock jumped 19%, closing at $160.95, giving the company a market cap above $2 trillion. Let that sink in. $2 trillion. On day one. And right now, every single person I know is texting me the same question: should I buy SpaceX stock? My mom texted me. My barber texted me. My college roommate, who has never bought a single stock in his life, texted me. So today, we're going to answer that question. Not with hype, not with noise, with real numbers, real risks, and a real answer. Because honestly, this might be the most important investing decision you make this decade, whether you buy it or you don't. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mason, and this is where we break down finance and investing in a way that actually makes sense for real people, not just Wall Street guys in suits. And look, I'm going to be straight with you today. I've been covering IPOs for years. I've seen the Facebook IPO. I watched Rivian. I was there for the whole SPAC bubble. I've seen people make life-changing money, and I've seen people lose their savings chasing hype. SpaceX is different. I believe that. But different doesn't automatically mean buy at any price. So let's talk about what SpaceX actually is, what this IPO actually means, and whether your hard-earned money should go into SPCX right now. First, let's establish something. Most people think SpaceX is just a rocket company, a cool science project, Elon Musk's expensive hobby. That's wrong. And that misunderstanding is exactly why people will either make or lose a lot of money on this stock. SpaceX today is basically three companies in one. Number one, launch business. They're the undisputed king of getting things into space. NASA uses them. The US military uses them. Private satellites, commercial cargo. If it's going to orbit, there's a very good chance SpaceX is launching it. Their Falcon 9 rocket has become as reliable as a commercial airline. That's genuinely remarkable. Number two, Starlink. This is the real money printer. Starlink is the only profitable segment in SpaceX right now, generating around $10 billion in revenue in 2025, with roughly $6 billion in EBITDA from its core operations. They are wrapping the entire planet in satellite internet, reaching people in rural Pakistan, in remote Africa, on ships in the middle of the ocean. This is not a side business. This is the business. Number three, XAI and the future. In February 2026, SpaceX merged with Elon Musk's artificial intelligence venture XAI, and now they're building space-based AI data centers. Yeah, you heard that right. Data centers. In orbit, this isn't a rocket company. This is an infrastructure company for the next century of human civilization. Okay, now let's talk money. Because this is a finance channel, not a science documentary. SpaceX's 2025 revenue exceeded $18.5 billion. However, the company posted a loss of nearly $5 billion for the year, largely due to the integration of XAI. So let me be real with you. SpaceX is not profitable right now. That's an important fact that's getting buried under all the excitement. Between the start of 2025 and March 31st, 2026, SpaceX lost $8.7 billion total. Now, does that mean the stock is bad? Not necessarily. Amazon lost money for years. Tesla lost money for years. The question is always, is the business on a trajectory that justifies the losses? But here's where it gets uncomfortable. SpaceX's price-to-sales ratio at IPO is roughly 94 times revenue, compared to Meta at 22x and Amazon at 18x when they went public. Let me put that in plain English. You are paying $94 for every single dollar SpaceX earns in revenue. That is an insane multiple. That is the market saying, we believe SpaceX will be a completely different company in 10 years. Morningstar analysts noted the IPO valuation implies SpaceX's 2035 earnings would need to grow 75-fold from 2025 levels just to justify the current price, 75 times. In 10 years, is that possible? Yes. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. Okay, let me steelman the bulls. Because the people who are excited about SpaceX, they're not idiots. There are real reasons to believe. Starlink is a monopoly in the making. Right now, they have roughly 7,000 satellites in orbit. Their nearest competitor has a few hundred, and they're launching more every single week. Once you have global satellite internet dominance, the kind of dominance that reaches every single human being on Earth, the recurring revenue from subscriptions is almost impossible to kill. Starship changes everything. The Starship rocket, when fully operational, is designed to bring the cost of getting to space down by a factor of 10 or more. When you dramatically lower the cost of reaching orbit, you unlock an entirely new economy: space tourism, space mining, lunar bases, Mars. SpaceX has stated its ambitions include establishing a human colony on Mars and deploying solar-powered data centers in space. Government contracts aren't going anywhere. SpaceX is deeply embedded in U.S. national security. NASA's Artemis moon program runs on SpaceX. The Pentagon depends on SpaceX. That's a moat that most tech companies would kill for. And here's the emotional truth. The reason people feel so strongly about this stock is because SpaceX represents something. It represents human ambition. It represents the idea that the future is going to be bigger than the present. Musk himself said at the opening bell, "I gave SpaceX a less than 10% chance of succeeding at all. And here they are, the biggest IPO in history." That story is powerful, and stories move markets. But I need to tell you the other side, because nobody on CNBC is going to say this as clearly as I'm about to. The valuation is legitimately terrifying. Morningstar put their fair value estimate at just $63 per share, valuing SpaceX at around $830 billion. The stock is trading at $161 right now. That's nearly 2.5 times what one of the most respected research firms on Earth thinks it's worth. Alphabet had $400 billion in revenue in 2025 and produces over $100 billion in annual after-tax profit. SpaceX had $18.7 billion in revenue and is losing money. And yet they're being valued comparably. That is a gap that math has to eventually close. The XAI drag is real. The XAI segment posted a $6.36 billion operating loss in 2025, and capital expenditures for the AI business in just the first quarter of 2026 came in at $7.7 billion. That's an absolute cash burn that would terrify most CFOs, and the competition for Starlink is coming. Amazon's Project Kuiper is launching satellites. OneWeb is operating. Governments around the world are launching their own networks. Starlink's head start is real, but it's not permanent. Here's the honest truth. If you're buying SPCX at $161, you're not investing in what SpaceX is today. You're betting on what it becomes by 2035. That's not investing. That's speculating. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to know what you're doing. So, should you invest in the SpaceX IPO? Here's my actual answer. If you are a long-term investor, 10, 15, 20 years, and you genuinely believe that humanity is going to become a multi-planetary species, that satellite internet will connect the next 4 billion people, and that space infrastructure will be as essential as cloud computing, then a small, disciplined position in SPCX makes sense. Not your whole portfolio. Not money you need in 3 years. A position you can hold through volatility, through losses, through the years where it doesn't work. But if you're buying this because it went up 19% yesterday and you have FOMO, please stop. The people who got rich off Tesla bought it at $20 when everyone thought it was a joke. The people who got burned bought it at $400 because they saw it on the news. Right now, SpaceX is on the news. The best investments you'll ever make are the ones that feel a little uncomfortable. Not the ones everyone is talking about at Thanksgiving dinner. Watch this stock. Understand this company. And if you're going to invest, invest with your head, not your emotions. SpaceX is the first of what are expected to be several major AI-era IPOs coming in the months ahead. Anthropic and OpenAI are reportedly next. So your opportunity to build a position in world-changing companies is not over. It's just beginning. Stay patient. Stay informed. And as always, invest like it's your money. Because it is. I'll see you in the next one. If this video helped you think more clearly about SpaceX, drop a like. It helps more than you know. And subscribe so you don't miss our breakdown of the next mega IPO.